Hey everybody, this 20-minute feel-good flow is designed to open up throughout the whole body and create a bit of space when you don't have lots of time to get on the mat. You won't need any props and it's open to yogis of all skill levels and experience, so you can jump on the mat and feel really great to take on the rest of your day. I hope you enjoy. We'll start today's practice laying on our backs in Supta Baddha Konasana. The soles of the feet will come to touch and the knees fall out to each side. Closing down the eyes. We'll begin today's practice just taking a few deep breaths. Notice the body as it starts to settle with every breath. Letting go of the day so far or the day to come, and acknowledging the effort that you're making for yourself in this time on the mat right now. We'll bring the hands to the tops of the thighs. The thumbs point in towards the pelvis and the fingers back towards the glutes. Apply a little bit of pressure, creating space in the lower back and the hips. Crown of the head reaches tall. Only applying as much pressure as what feels good. And then releasing, we'll draw the knees into center and bring them into the chest for a bit of a hug. Rolling from side to side, massaging the lower back. And then extending our left leg long, holding the right knee into the chest. We'll use our left hand to guide the right knee across the body. Shift the hips into the center so that you can really stack the hips. And then extend the right hand out from the shoulder. Making sure to plug the right shoulder into the mat. Feel the stretch all the way on the outer right hip through the side body. You might like to gaze over the right shoulder, allowing gravity to really do the work here. Stay for a full round of breath, and then use your next inhale to draw the right knee back through center. Both knees come into the chest, and you might need to adjust back into the middle of the mat before extending the right leg long. We'll give the left knee a little bit of a squeeze and then use the right hand to extend out to the right hand side, adjusting the hips as required, and then plugging the left shoulder down into the mat. Arm can reach long, the gaze can look over the left if it feels nice for the neck. Taking a big breath in through the nose. And back out through the nose. Really setting up that slow and steady breath. We'll draw the knees back into the center and hug both knees in, taking a hold of the back of the thighs. We're going to do a few rock and rolls along the spine, massaging the length of the vertebrae. And on your third roll, we'll come all the way, crossing the ankles and moving into our tabletop. And adjusting back into the middle of the mat as you need. Hands are below the shoulders and the knees are below the hips. We'll lower the belly, lift the gaze, lift the tailbone with an inhale breath. And then exhale to round the spine, lift the belly in towards the spine. Gaze looks through to the navel. Moving through our cat-cow a couple more times. Uniting the breath with the movement. Really just moving at our own pace. Noticing where you need to spend any extra time. Where you might be a little bit more stiff today. And then coming back to a neutral spine, the left hand moves into the center of the mat below the face. And we'll inhale to lift the right fingertips up towards the sky, taking a twist. And then exhale to thread the needle underneath the left armpit, lowering the right shoulder to the mat. We'll extend the right fingertips or the left fingertips past the crown of the head. Breathe deeply into the upper back. Staying for our exhale breath. We'll inhale to bring the left hand in front of the face and twist the right fingertips back up to the sky. Exhale, place the right hand down in the center of the mat and we'll come through the other side, inhaling to twist the left fingertips up. Exhaling to thread the needle underneath the right shoulder. You can extend the right fingertips long. Really press the top of the left arm into the mat. Feeling this stretch through the upper back. Our next inhale, press the right hand into the mat in front of the face and extend the left fingertips tall to the ceiling. Coming back to all fours, we'll bring the hands forward about one hand length and then tuck our toes and lift the hips up to our first downward facing dog of the practice. And you can take whatever movements you need here to make as much space in the back body, pedaling out through the heels, shifting the hips a little bit from side to side. Eventually we'll come to stillness, spreading the fingertips, placing even weight through the hands and really lifting up through the side bodies, lifting the hips up tall. And you might keep a bend in the knees here or extend the heels down to the mat. And then stepping the toes, tiny little steps all the way up, bringing the feet to meet the hands at the top of the mat. Halfway lift, hands come to the shins, or they can stay on the mat, extending through the spine, drawing the navel in towards the spine. And then exhale, folding over the legs. And we'll take a round of breath here. You might like to bend through each of the knees, really finding any movements that you need. And then softly bending through both knees, we'll inhale to stand, palms meet overhead, taking a little back bend at the top if it feels nice. And then exhaling to fold over the legs. Halfway lift, we inhale, spine is long. And then exhale, palms come to the mat as we step our left foot back, lower the left knee. Inhale, broaden through the chest, coming onto the fingertips and really lowering into our front left hip flexor. Our exhale rolls us over the right heel, extending through the right knee, halfway split. Toes draw back towards the face. And then inhale to come back onto the sole of the right foot, lifting the fingertips up for our Anjaneyasana. The right hand is going to lower down to the back of the left thigh, or perhaps to the mat, and extend the left fingertips to the back right corner of the room, bringing the stretch all the way down the left side body. Inhale, extending through the fingertips, keeping length in the spine here. And then exhale, circle both hands back down to frame the right foot. We'll tuck our left toes and step it on forward, halfway lift, evening out through the back of the legs. Exhale to fold it forward. Light bend in the knees. Inhale, rise to stand. And exhale, folding it back down. Halfway lift, inhale. Crown of the head reaches forward. Exhale, right foot steps back this time, lowering the knee. We'll come onto the fingertips and really broaden through the collarbones. Inhaling to elongate the spine. Exhaling, rolling over the left heel, taking Ardha Hanumanasana. Toes come back towards the face. Inhale to extend the spine long here again. Exhale, left sole of the foot comes back down to the mat as we sweep the fingertips tall with our inhale. And then the left hand comes down to the mat or the back of the right thigh for extra support. Bringing the stretch down really deep into the right side body and the right hip flexor. Inhale, finding even more length. And exhale, circling both hands now, framing that front foot. Tuck the right toes, stepping it forward, halfway lift. Feeling length through the back body now. Exhale, fold over the legs. Inhale, standing really tall, palms meet overhead. Maybe a little back bend at the top if it feels good. And then we're folding it straight back down with our exhale breath. Halfway lift, inhale. This time with our exhale, the palms meet the mat, and we're stepping back to a high plank. Lowering the knees for this first flow. We'll exhale as we come down, lowering the belly and the chest. Inhaling to press into the hands and the tops of the feet for our baby cobra. And then exhaling to tuck the toes and lifting the hips back to down dog. Take a round of breath here. Lifting up through the hips, finding as much length as you can in the spine. Then we'll bring the weight into the left foot and inhale to lift the right foot towards the ceiling, three-legged dog. Exhale, placing the right foot down between the hands, lowering the left heel so the foot's parallel to the back edge of the mat, and sweeping our hands up to warrior two. Hands extend out from the shoulders. We'll settle with our exhale breath. Our next inhale, flipping the front palm. Left hand comes to the left leg as we extend the right fingertips up towards the ceiling, reversing our warrior. Exhale, right elbow to left knee. Left hand reaches past the crown of the head. Inhale, reversing our warrior again. And we exhale for our extended side angle. One more time, we inhale to reverse our warrior, reaching the right fingertips long, extending through the right knee, taking the left hand to the left hip. You might shorten the stance a little bit coming into Trikonasana. Shifting the hips back, we'll extend the right fingertips long in front, and then eventually fold from the hips, bringing the right fingertips inside the right shin, and then peeling the shoulders open to the left-hand side. You might extend your left fingertips up towards the ceiling. We'll stay for a round of breath here, finding a lifting sensation through the joints. Notice if you can relax through the face, finding a balance of ease and strength. With our next inhale, we'll bend through the right knee, lifting the chest back over the hips. And then exhale to come back, framing the front foot, stepping the right foot back to meet the left. Moving through a flow this time, you might take chaturanga or lower the knees. Inhale, upward facing dog. And then exhale it, downward facing dog. Deep breath in through the nose. And releasing it back out through the nose. Our next inhale, bringing the right foot, weight into the right foot and extending the left foot up towards the ceiling. Exhaling, place that left foot between the hands, lower the right heel down and circle the hands up to come into warrior two. Our gaze is looking over the middle left finger. And the crown of the head reaches tall. Let's flip the front palm with our inhale, send the left fingertips up towards the sky, really lifting out of the left side body. Exhale, left elbow to left knee, right fingertips extend past the crown of the head now. One more just like that, inhale. Exhale. Our next inhale, extend the left fingertips tall And then extend the left knee. Right hand comes to the right hip as you shorten the stance slightly for Trikonasana. Left fingertips extend out in front as we start to shift the hips back and lean forward. Eventually folding at the hips, left hand comes to the inside of the left shin. Right shoulder peels open to the right hand side. And the fingertips might reach up towards the ceiling. Gaze can follow. Finding length in both side bodies. We'll bend into our left knee. Inhale to lift the chest back over the hips. And exhale to circle the hands back down, framing the left foot and stepping it back. Moving through a flow of your choice. And leaning back in downward facing dog. We'll come onto the balls of the feet, rippling forward, shoulders over the hands. And then lower the knees all the way down. Sitting back on our heels in Vajrasana pose. We'll move through camel pose now. So sitting the hips over the knees, hands come to the lower back. Fingertips are pointing down. The option is to tuck the toes or leave them untucked. We'll inhale to gaze slightly up, keeping a slight tuck of the chin and elongate through the spine, starting to feel the sensation of leaning back whilst also pressing the hips forward. Moving really slowly into this shape. There's no rush. Feeling this opening across the chest. And you might choose to stay here or perhaps lower the hands to the heels. Breathing evenly and steadily in whichever shape you're in. Maybe allowing the head to shift back gently. And we'll start to move out of the pose as slowly as we came into it. So bringing the hands to the lower back. Starting to stack the vertebrae, one on top of the other. And then eventually bringing the hips to sit back on their heels again. Closing down the eyes and allowing the hands to just sit in the lap for a moment. Feeling the effects of this heart-opening posture. I'd like to guide you through a cleansing pranayamic breath. You can stay sitting up on your heels or sitting in cross-legged is also fine. I will demonstrate the first round and then feel free to join in. We'll do a couple more rounds after that. So we'll inhale to bring the hands out in front, elongating through the spine. And exhale to release all of the air out of the lungs. And as you sit up slightly, inhaling through the nose, and then pausing, holding the breath. Sitting up again, we inhale, pausing again. Eventually, all the way up, inhaling and pausing until we're sitting all the way at the top, holding the inhalation here. And sitting with this elongated spine, until finally exhaling the breath gently. And just feeling the effects of this breath, whatever may arise for you. We'll move through a couple more rounds. We inhale to bring the arms out in front, elongate through the spine. Exhale to fold all the way forward, releasing all of the air. And then as we sip the air and then pause, it is almost as if every sip of inhalation is making the chest a little bit more buoyant until finally the shoulders are stacked over the hips and we're holding our inhalation at the top. Holding for a few moments, not straining the breath, And then releasing, gently exhaling, and feeling this sense of calmness move through the body. One more round. We inhale, long spine. And exhale to release. Inhale, sips in the air. We pause for a moment. Inhale to sip. Hold with the pause. Stage by stage, lifting the chest with every inhale until we reach the top. Crown reaches towards the ceiling. And then eventually, gently releasing the exhale breath. And just sitting with that for a few moments. And then we'll blink the eyes open and bring the legs out in front. We'll extend our right leg long and bring the sole of the left foot to the inside of the right thigh. Inhale to draw the hands up towards the ceiling, sitting tall. And then exhale to fold forward into our Janu Sirsasana. Stretching down the back of the right leg. Inhaling to sit up tall again. The left hand can come behind the left hip, and we'll circle the right hand in front, lifting the hips, coming onto the left shin, feeling an opening across the whole front of the body. Exhale, lowers the hips back down. We'll take it through either side. Left leg extends long. Right foot inside the thigh. We inhale to sit tall, facing over the left leg. Exhale, folding it forward. Lengthen the spine in our forward fold. We'll sit back up tall. Place the right hand behind the right hip, and then circle the left hand in front, coming onto the front of the right shin. Lifting the hips and opening through the whole front body in this counter back bend. Exhaling to release the hips back down. Bring both legs out in front. And adjust yourself into the center of the mat so that you can lay all the way down. We'll take Viparita Karani, extending the soles of the feet up towards the ceiling. Adjusting the spine so that each vertebrae feels like it's pressing down into the mat. You might take a cushion or a block or something below the sacrum, finding a soft bend in the knees, and really releasing any effort in this shape. We'll close down the eyes. And feel the beautiful sensation of the blood circulating from the legs in this passive inversion. I like to stay in this pose for 10, 20 minutes sometimes. So if you have the extra time to pause the video today and do so, then I invite you to. However, we will bend the knees and draw them into the chest. Releasing both legs out to the corners of the mat. And taking any final adjustments that you might need to come into complete comfort in your Shavasana pose. Taking up as much space as you need on the ground. Allowing the legs to roll out, the arms to be heavy. And feel the weight of the body press down into the mat. Taking this time to allow this positive flow of energy to absorb into the body.